Well, the number of worldwide cases of coronavirus has now topped 200,000 as nations continue to tighten rules around social gatherings and travel. The World Health Organization says there are now 8,000 people who are known to have died from COVID-19. In New South Wales, an 85-year-old man died overnight, taking the nationwide toll to 6. There are now more than 560 confirmed cases of coronavirus in Australia.
The Prime Minister is continuing to argue that schools should remain open, saying it will adversely affect students' learning if they're shut down. And the Reserve Bank is set to announce emergency measures today to help cushion Australia's economy from the coronavirus shock. For more, let's go straight to political reporter Stephanie Boris at Parliament House. Good morning, Steph. There has been some concerns from parents about schools here in Australia, but Scott Morrison is standing firm.
He is. Prime Minister Scott Morrison and all the state and territory leaders say there is no need to close schools at this point in time, and that's due to the medical advice that they've received from Australia's top health experts. Despite the Prime Minister and the state leaders pushing this message and trying to reassure parents, we have seen a drop in attendance rate at some schools, and then there have been some independent schools that have already closed their doors or have announced that they're planning on closing their doors very shortly. Now, the New South Wales Premier Gladys Berejiklian was asked about those particular schools yesterday, and she said that we would hope any school considering this action would reconsider. The Prime Minister was pressed further again on it last night, but Scott Morrison said at this stage the advice is that schools must remain open.
If we close schools down where there isn't a health reason for doing it, then the dislocation and disruption that provides more broadly can be frankly very dangerous. Very dangerous on a couple of points. The first one is it could compromise about 30% of our health workforce. Second, it will further disrupt what happens in the economy. And the costs there are tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of jobs because of the dislocation.
Steph, what further measures are said to be introduced to help workers and business?
Well, last week we heard the government announce that nearly $18 billion stimulus package, the focus there on supporting small and medium-sized businesses and also that one-off bonus payment for people on welfare. But the government has confirmed that it will be rolling out a second round of measures, the Prime Minister describing them not so much as stimulus in this sense, but more about creating a safety net for individuals and small and medium-sized businesses. So what exactly does that mean? We are expecting that there'll be support for people that lose their jobs in terms of financial support and loans for small and medium-sized businesses that find themselves in trouble. Now, the government is intent on passing all these measures, the ones that are announced and the ones set to be announced next week. So we are expecting further details, no doubt, by Sunday. Then, of course, today we will hear from the RBA. They'll be announcing further measures in order to try and support Australia's economy. And we are expecting to see the official cash rate cut another time. By another 25 basis points. And finally, also, this coronavirus crisis obviously is not just here in Australia, but worldwide. And as a result of that, the world's 20 biggest economies will be convening a meeting next week. I need to point out, obviously, Lisa, that is via video link. They will not be in the same room for obvious reasons. And that will be all about trying to develop a coordinated set of policies to protect people and safeguard the global economy.
Still seeing some supermarket shelves empty. What's going on there, Steph?
So today we've seen Coles put advertisements in all the major newspapers urging Australians to please don't panic buy, do not hoard. Further restrictions have been put on certain foods and items in terms of how many you can purchase. Also, store hours have changed in order to give staff more time to stock those shelves. We've also seen Coles put ads out for more casual workers, and they've had a huge response for people wanting to take on those jobs. The Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, pleading with Australians to just buy what you need, keeping in mind if you look overseas where countries have been put into lockdown, the shops have remained open.
A very good point to make, Steph. Thank you. Well, staying with the coronavirus pandemic in Europe, Italy's death toll has now risen to almost 3,000, with 475 people dying in just one day. The United Kingdom has this morning made the decision to close all schools as the death toll soars across the country. Eurovision and Britain's Glastonbury Festival are the latest major events to be called off. Meanwhile, Iran has recorded its largest single-day rise in coronavirus deaths, with 147 people dying in the past 24 hours.
The border between the United States and Canada will temporarily close to all non-essential traffic. The move is hoped to slow the spread of the virus outbreak as the US confirms cases in all 50 states. President Trump is now asking Congress to allocate $500 billion for direct payments to Americans, all part of a $1 trillion plan.
We're going to defeat the invisible enemy. I think we're going to do it even faster than we thought, and it will be a complete victory. It'll be a total victory.
The Catholic Church has moved to suspend all masses across Victoria. This decision could see Catholic weddings and funerals scaled back or postponed. Meanwhile, in Perth and Hobart, all Catholic masses have also been cancelled. The move comes as the government bans non-essential indoor gatherings of more than 100 people to stop the spread of coronavirus.
News Breakfast has learned a group of Australian students from Monash University is stuck in Malaysia waiting for authorities to return their passports. The country has gone into lockdown, but the students can't follow Foreign Affairs Department advice to return home straight away because Malaysia's Immigration Department is yet to return their travel documents. The university says it's working closely with authorities and the passports will be returned as soon as possible.